This is, in case you missed it, NFL Week 1 edition, where I'll be going over every NFL game from Week 1 and going over why every NFL team that won this week won and why every NFL team that lost this week lost. And let's get into it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you like it, and comment your favorite team in the comment section below. And let's get right into it. In the first game of the season, you have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs, with the Ravens beating the Chiefs. And the one reason why the Baltimore Ravens lost, it came down to Todd Monken and his offensive game plan, which was kind of similar to the one he had in the AFC Championship game, which resulted in the loss. That first drive looked good, using Derrick Henry in the run game well, getting down the field efficiently, scoring a touchdown. And then after that, we really never saw that kind of type of drive again, with more Lamar drop back, and would result in another strip sack, like similar to one AFC Championship game, but would result in Chiefs points again. And for one reason why the Chiefs won was Andy Reid having everybody coming out prepared to play, having prep time for this game. Which, if you don't know, when Andy Reid ever had prep time for a game, a week or so more, he always comes out, have a team prepared to play, and they usually win that game. The next game we have is the Packers versus the Eagles, with the Eagles beating the Packers, and the run reason why the Packers lost was their run defense. Their run defense started out pretty solid, I ain't gonna lie, and then it just came down to Saquon just starting to get loose, and then they couldn't stop Saquon, who had over 100 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns. And for the Eagles, one reason why they won was Saquon. He was their best player on the field that day, with everybody playing decent or good enough. And they showed, and Saquon showed why they paid him all that money in free agency for him to play for them. And next game, you have the Bengals versus the Patriots, with the Bengals losing to the Patriots in an upset. And one reason why the Bengals lost was their offense. This is something we always see with them in the beginning of the season, always starting out slow, always not getting going till later in the season. And Jamar Chase even mentioned this, that they always start the season slow for some reason. He doesn't know why. And for the Patriots, you just got to give it up to their head coach, Gerard Mayo. First NFL game has everybody come out prepared to play, execute everything, and they pull out the win. The next game you have is the Bills versus the Cardinals, and the Bills beating the Cardinals. And the reason why the Cardinals lost was their defense. They came out, everybody on that team came out with good energy and everything, came out with 2-score lead, and their defense couldn't hold Josh Allen after Josh Allen started getting going, went off for 3 touchdowns. And following that, Josh Allen, he was the reason why the Bills won. He's their best player, and that with all the departures this offseason Bills had, they were like, Josh Allen going to have to bail us out a lot of games and had to play Superman. And he did that by scoring 3 touchdowns game, which resulted in them winning. The next game we have is the Steelers versus the Falcons, with the Steelers beating the Falcons. And the one reason why the Falcons lost was their offense and Kirk Cousins, which is kind of funny because Kirk Cousins usually good in 1 p.m. games, but he didn't look good this game. And their offense only was scoring 10 points, while their defense was playing good, only giving up field goals and never allowing the Steelers to score a touchdown, which just comes down to the Steelers' defense and TJ Watt wrecking their whole Falcons game plan and looking like he's about to get another Defensive Player of the Year the way he played today. And a little shout out to Chris Boswell for hitting all of his kicks, every point was important for them. And the next game is the Saints versus the Panthers, with the Saints beating the Panthers. And the Panthers, I couldn't really find one big reason. I just said everything was bad. I don't think one person played very good. And it's just kind of hard to be a Panthers fan right now. I just looked at this one tweet by Jonathan Stewart. He said, get on the bandwagon now the day before the game. And then someone tweeted back at him and said, man, we lose 17-0 in the first quarter. He just laughed and said, yeah, it's not looking good.
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression.
And didn't take care of business, 3 touchdowns in the first half, and just coming out, having that energy, talking that talk to J.C. Horn, saying, I got 3 tuds on your head, was pretty funny. And next game we have is the Texans versus the Colts, with the Colts losing to the Texans. And Texans, one reason why they won was their run game with Joe Mixon. With Joe Mixon going off in his first game as a Texan with over 150 yards, 159 yards in the touchdown. And the Colts, one reason why they lost was their front 7 run defense. They were letting They pass defense. The second year was solid the whole game, and they just couldn't hold up in the run where they needed that stop the most in the fourth quarter. And then the next game we have is the Dolphins and the Jaguars, and the Dolphins beating the Jaguars. The reason why the Jaguar lost was, if you don't know, was that moment to change fumble in the third quarter by ETN by that Javon Holland punched out and went in the back of the end zone. Because if he doesn't punch that out and ETN scores, it's the three score game, 24-7, and it's pretty hard for them to come back with the Jaguars having all the momentum. But that punch out happened, touchback, next play, Tyree scores, and now it's only a 3-point game. And the Dolphins have all the momentum. They rode that momentum into a win. And for the Dolphins, it was just Mike McDaniel, that adjustment their offense made in the second half to flip the switch and get going. And they rode that momentum from that fumble to a win. And the next game we have is the Titans versus the Bears, with the Bears beating the Titans. And the Titans, one reason why they lost was it just came out to their quarterback play, Will Levis. Will Levis, he at first, all the way up to the fourth quarter, he had played good enough for them to win the game. Then he throws that egregious interception, which I'm gonna post it up right here to just show y'all. It was just egregious. It's just going to a pick six for a score, and he did get two chances to come back and try to win the game for his team, tie it, and at least send to overtime. But he came and then do nothing with the ball, and that just got summed up to the Bears knowing why they won, which was their their defense. Their defense played out of their minds and helped out their rookie quarterback and Caleb, who played decent enough to win. And next game we have is the Cowboys versus the Browns, with the Cowboys beating the Browns. And the one reason why the Browns losing was it was just their offense from everybody, all 11 on their offense. I couldn't name one person that played good. And it just came out to the Deshaun Watson looking like he's looked like a shell of himself, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. And the Cowboys, I got to give it up to the defense and Mike Zimmer installing that new defense for that double A gap pressure coming in or coming out with it, always simulating some type of blitz or pressure. That got home with 6 sacks, 2 turnovers. Micah looked like he's ready to win the Defensive Player of the Year. Trayvon Diggs looked good in his first back. Hey, shout out Trayvon Diggs. Hey, Maryland, stand up. And the next game we have is the Charger versus the Raiders, with the Raiders beating the Charger. Excuse me, the Chargers beating the Raiders. And the Raiders, the reason why they lost their offense. And you have Gardner Minshew trying out there, no real plan, and you only mustered 10 points. And you can't really have no room for error. You have Gardner Minshew out there, and they did with Zamir White fumbling, which wasn't good, and they kind of really couldn't get it going the whole game. And for the Chargers, the reason why they won was just Jim Harbaugh just established his offense, which was running the ball, and J.K. Dobbins just going off, looking like he back at Ohio State again. 10 carries for 135 yards and a touchdown, 13.5 yards a carry, which is insane. And Herbert just playing a little game manager role this game, which I hopefully he doesn't play like that the whole season, because they'll need the Herbert that everybody who sees him on as high as a top 5 quarterback they'll need it in some games, but they didn't need it this game. And the next game we have the Seahawks versus the Broncos. The Seahawks beating the Broncos, and the Broncos, reason why they lost is their offense. Just having a rookie quarterback, he just didn't look comfortable out there throwing multiple interceptions. That game, the second one looking egregious. And then with the Seahawks, it was just their second half offense and Mike McDonald making that adjustment, helping them flip that switch to get back into the game after being down at halftime and coming out only allowing 1 touchdown, which was all the way into the fourth quarter, and their offense putting up 17, which was enough for them to win. And then the next of the last of the afternoon games was the Commanders versus the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers beating the Commanders. And the Commanders, one reason why they lost was just their defense, secondary, giving up 37 points. That's not good enough to win. You can't give up 37 points in the game and expect to win, guys. Real life. And for the Bucks, it was just Baker Mayfield and their offense looking good. Baker Mayfield threw for 289 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 a touchdown for Mike Evans, 1 for McMillan, the rookie, looking good out there, and Chris Godwin getting 8 receptions, 83 yards and touchdown. Rashad White doing his thing, and even Bucky Irving getting some good runs out there. That offense looking looking like we picked up where it left off from last year. Might be even better. And then the Sunday night game, we had the Lions versus the Rams, with the Lions beating the Rams in a OD game that came down to overtime. And for the Lions, the reason why they won was their rushing attack, with David Montgomery getting 17 rush for 91 yards and a touchdown. Also, shout out to Jamo Williams with 5 receptions for 121 yards and a touchdown. His little coming out party. And Jared Goff really didn't have to do much this game with the rushing attack taking it to the Rams defense, which was the reason why the Rams defense lost with their run defense, giving up 5.2 yards for a carry, which came up for 163 rush yards, which isn't going to be that's not going to win you a lot of games. And for our last game, we have the 49ers and the Jets, with the 49ers beating the Jets. And the Jets, the reason why they lost with their run defense, Jordan Mason getting subbed in around maybe last second, maybe not, we don't know, real live. But him getting 28 carries for 147 yards and a touchdown just looked like the Jets could not stop that rushing attack. No matter if it was going to be Chris McCaffrey back there or Jordan Mason or even Deebo Samuel, just like they couldn't stop the 49 rush attack the whole night. And the Jets, it was just their rushing attack. And their offense looked good at first, but I'm gonna give them passes. It's Aaron Rodgers' first full game back in almost 2 years, so yeah, I just give it to that run defense that been there for out the whole year and a half that they've been in this era, and they just gotta play better. That front seven, everybody just has to play better in that defense. They want to win. And yeah, that's just in case you missed it week one. Hopefully, I come back for week two, and it should be a good NFL season.